Sprezzatura Jones. Very long to explain that. Perhaps I should start by... Oops, are you not getting this, Mr. Oh, yes. Perhaps I should start by saying that, why Spizzy? What is this Spizzy thing? Well, the thing you should know about Spizzy is that, first of all, he's fictional person. Okay? He does not exist. Now, there is a person named Gilbert who does exist, who gets into all sorts of trouble, but Spizzy cannot get into any trouble because he's not real. He is a work of art, as you will see when you see what happens up here. You go, oh my God, this Spizzy! It's like a work of art. Also, I will be falling over now and then. It's not because I'm drunk. In fact, I haven't had enough to get drunk yet. I'm trying very hard. I will try during Mr. Ramsden to get very drunk. But I know I'm just very old. And I'm so old that my feet don't work. It's boring. Who wants to hear? So listen, why Spizzy? I will have to say that part of why Spizzy, this fictional person exists, Sprezzatura. Sprezzatura is my middle name. Sprezzatura means, it's this magical thing where you can make a magic happen and someone believes it's real, but it's totally fake. Like for instance, you know, it's amazing that if I were to tell you that I'm not from Europe, you would go, oh, I cannot believe that. You obviously are from Europe because you speak with such heavy accent. Accenting all the time in the wrong places because you are from Europe and you're not English speaking. But no, I am not really from Europe. It's a performance. It is art, but it's so perfect that you fall for it. That is the Sprezzatura. All right, so I've explained that. Now we have to get down to the other stuff. So you should know that the reason why Spizzy exists is because if people who've watched maybe the shows from the last year might know that Spizzy thinks that everyone has forgotten about the gay men's. Okay? The gay men's are the forgotten peoples. They're just like, they wander the earth the way the Jews used to. And we won't get into that because it's too complicated. But now, you know, now it's like they're more lost than ever. Because there was a time when people thought we were great peoples. Now, you'll see what happens if you watch YouTube or the Netflix. You want to see who the villain is on the latest sitcom show? It's a gay, masculine bodybuilder. Oh, you look in so many films, it's like, oh, he's horrible, he's dumb. Spizzy know lot of gay bodybuilders. They're not all dumb. At any rate, so I feel the gay men's, not just the gay bodybuilders, but they get, someone's got to speak up for the gay men's, so that's me. Now I'll show you how weird it's getting now. I talk about it quite a bit, I always go to the dark room at the Eagle, another part of like, we are forgotten. You probably don't even know there is a dark room.
I know.
Thank you, David. So I've never seen you there, but I'll take you over the front.
It's dark, Sky, so of course you haven't seen me there.
But I tried to get close enough to see who they are. That's what makes it, because people don't understand. They say you have sex with people in the dark, and you can't see them, and so that means you have sex with all these ugly people. No. I always get close, so I can decide whether or not. So actually, we have to get reasonably close to have sex with someone, we would hope. Anyway, so there is this dark room there. I'm at the Eagle. On the they had a night called the Goon Night, and the Goon Night was for the young, so it's very educational for Spizzy because Spizzy very old, and all these young men come in there, young men, but all these women, because the young gay men's, they always have hung out with women's, but now they're with the thousands of women's. Now I will get to it. I got nothing against the women's. In fact, I got a lot more against the men's. But at any rate. So they bring the girls in, the Twinkies. The young men now, they wear the skirts and they wear the nail polish, but they don't do the full drag. They don't put on the breasts. They don't do any of that horrible stuff. They think that's horrible. So they dress up like that. So I don't recognize them. I don't know what's going on. But it's the youth, and I'm trying to understand the youth. And there was all these young ladies, and none of these young men are going to go into the dark room. So there I am. There is Spizzy all by himself. No, I did find a sort of an older gentleman to amuse myself with. But I amused myself a bit. And then what would happen is these girls would come into the darkroom. This is the gay darkroom. Now, I understand. I understand that if I was a girl, which I am not, I would not want to hang out in a straight bar. Because I don't think, just speak up between you and me, I don't think the straight men's actually like the women's very much. They have sex with them, but I don't know how much they actually like them. So I know that sometimes the women's, they feel uncomfortable when they go to the straight bars. So they come to the gay bars, they don't feel so judged, they feel so free, they can be with their gay friends, great. So, but there's a dark room where the gay men's go and do their business. The women's come in. So some of the women's, they would come in and they would laugh. They all laugh, but they laugh differently. Some of them laugh like, like when they leave, like nasty laugh, like the bad witch of Oveth, because they just think we are so ridiculous. The other ones come in and they laugh, but it's more like, I look for washroom. Oh, this not washroom. Oh, this man having sex. Yeah, that's what happens. So for me, this is kind of weird that there's one room in the whole of the city of Toronto, and in fact, it's a room which brings in tourists from around the world. Because when I'm there, so I'm in from Wisconsin, where I tried to have sex with, well, all of the places really, men from Omaha, and they say, we don't have no dark rooms here, right? They don't have many. I did find a dark room in New Orleans, I will say, but it was it was smaller than this stage, let me tell you. Anyway, so we're famous for that. It's one of the few in the whole of North America, and yet these young women, and you could say good for them, but for us it's hard because we're trying to have sex and they're laughing at us. So that for me is part of it. And as I say, I've got nothing against the women's. In fact, I actually like the women's more than the men's. But not sexual. You see, there's nothing, people don't understand this about the homosexuals, right? Or about, they just don't understand this about sex, right? Sex can be, well, for me, it's very difficult. It's very complicated, right? And if you're having it with someone, and if you have that attraction, it complicates everything, right? If you don't have that attraction, then you have a good chance of maybe dealing with the person as a person. If you have the sexual attraction, suddenly it confuses you. This is what all of Shakespeare is about, by the way, that you get confused by the sex thing, right? So you get all confused and you can no longer see the person in front of you, right? So anyway, with the men's, I don't know. I find the men's just hard-hearted, aloof, arrogant, a little bit like Donald Trump. Do you know what I mean? The men's, it's not that all men are Donald Trump for sure, but men have all these masculinities problems, and it drives me crazy, right? Whereas women don't have that, and I'm not attracted to them, so I can deal with them as human beings. So I actually like them a lot better. I just wish they wouldn't come into the dark room and have a laugh. Anyway, that was my complaint for the day. So listen, I have two guests for you today, as I always do. And today, we're going to start with an old friend of mine who's going to play for you. I'm going to ask him to make his way up here. He's going to play some songs for you. Would you please give much applause to a dear friend and wonderful man, Mr. David Ramsden. Clap for him and he will come up and entertain you. He's a most marvelous musician. He's a marvelous singer-piano player, and he writes. Are you gonna sing?
These are my songs, and this is me. Anyway, this is a song called Northern Lights, and I'm also an actor, and I was in a show at Buddies and Bad Times when they were on George Street, and it was in 1991. Tales from the Parkside, about the Parkside Tavern on Yonge Street, where you could go and get a blowjob any time of the day or night. And why am I telling this? Oh, because during the play, it was about that bar. We all played either patrons or waiters. I was the waiter, and Ed Roy directed it, and he asked, can we use your song for the love theme? And so every night, the action would freeze, and this song would play, and I would stand on stage watching these two beautiful men dance to my song, Dean Gabriel and John Wildman. Very beautiful band. Slow dance. No hard on. So they say. Anyway, this is that song. was driving down the highway from Toronto last night. Black doubts and confusion, lost in the rhythm of the lonely road. Darkness all around me, I've got the radio turned way down low. I'm coming home, I'm just trying to get home. Suddenly the northern lights turn cartwheels in the sky, lighting up this fairground night like a Ferris wheel in July. Satellites and falling stars, well, I watch them all go by, and I feel like I could fly here. I feel just like I could fly. Maybe you are like these northern lights, you wanna glow when you wanna glow. Maybe there are some things we were never meant to own, we were never meant to know. Maybe I'm a traveler with a long way left to go, or maybe like these northern lights, maybe you can bring me home. Or maybe like these northern lights, maybe you can bring me home. When I asked for a sign, and you gave me a sign, you brought me this gift, caused it to shine. Oh, how it shines, how it shines. When I pulled to a truck stop, I took my dog and I walked out in a field. Raised my arms up to the sky, and I let that lightning wash over me. Well, the angels came to earth last night, and they gave these words to me. They said, only love, only love, only love can set you free. maybe you can bring me home. You can bring me home. Thank you. That's the serious song. And this is a love song. I'm not going to say anything more about it. You'll know who it's about. Dear Corey, I'm sorry. So hope that I'm not bothering you. Hey, 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 hey. Dear Corey, here's the story of why I am writing this letter to you. Sometimes at night I just lie awake thinking of you. I can't seem to get your face out of my head. One day the morning you left and the morning came back. You got me tired and I wonder why I stayed up late and I watched you being interviewed on Good Rockin' Tonight. Good Rockin' Tonight. No, I don't like Terry David Mulligan, but I guess that he's alright if you say so, but I kind of doubt it. I meant to ask you about your great hairstyle. How can I get mine to stand up like that? Is it gel? Boy in the Box is an excellent song. My friends say they like it much better. Highway to Hell by AC/DC. Dear Corey, when are you coming to Toronto? If you're ever in Mississauga, you can spend the night at my place. I've got a big double bed. My parents don't mind if I have a friend stay with me on weekend nights. I put your poster right over the bed. I painted the eyes so they glow when I turn out the lights. Well, I'm a bit artistic, but I've gotta go now. But I sure hope you liked my letter. When you write me, could you please include another picture? Yours sincerely, and thank you, Jeffrey, age 14. I'm only 14. Yours sincerely, and thank you, Jeffrey, age 14. Corey, I love you. Thank you so much.
And that, I I remember those songs because I remember you used to sing them at the Buddies and Bad Times Theater, and they were very beautiful, and they still are.
Thank you.
And the Corey Hart one, speaking of the gay, it is the growing up, is it Corey Hart? No, Corey who?
It's Corey Hart.
Corey Hart. Was he not also a movie star? No, he was
No.
only a singer.
Just a singer,
With the straight up
songwriter.
hair. Yeah? Pardon me?
Corey Haim and Corey
But I get mixed up, there were so many Corys, right? But this was the Corey Hart. And just the little gay boy falling in love and saying he's artistic and putting it over his bed. It's
That's
just
how he
very
made
beautiful.
me feel when I saw him for the first time.
Oh.
When I saw him, I was like, who the fuck is that? And I felt like I was 14.
I know the feeling very much.
This is a good beer.
So we're good. So we're going to start out with as IPA, I think. We're going to start out by asking you just about being a gay musician. Now, the interesting thing about David is he's been out of the closet gay musician from the very start. Like, he does not hide it at all. So I'm wondering what it has meant to you to be a out gay musician, and if you have had any out gay adventures. No, but related. No. I didn't say I would ask you that, but you can talk about
Not
that.
today, I haven't.
But I know you do have your gay. Whoops, we all have our gay adventures, which is what makes life worth living. But but in terms of being a gay musician, have you ever felt that is it something like where you go, oh, I'm a gay musician, no, really, no, this is not a big deal. Is it something that has been a part of the way people relate to you, or as a musician, as an artist?
I think it's been part of how people relate to me, and I didn't think I had a choice when I came out, which was probably when I was 20. So that would be 1975.
What does it mean not to have a choice? You mean?
Because of what I was going to be doing, I thought if you want to be an honest artist,
Right.
you have to be exactly yourself. You write songs about men,
Right.
you sing them to men, and then not that they're not for women too, but they are written
You
specifically.
sing them to men. By the way, I like that so
I
much.
sing
Anyway, go
them
on.
to men.
But the women can listen, but they're directed at the men.
Yeah, when it's a love song, it is written for a man. And honestly, I never thought about how it was going to affect me when I did it. I just thought that's what I'm going to do because of songwriters I admired, like Joni Mitchell, people like that. They always wrote about their own life, always. And they were really honest about their lives, and I thought that's what I'm going to do.
That's what I never understood, because I write the poetry and I write the other things, and I find the truth that people say to me, why do you have to write about always the gay things? And they say that to me all the time, like, why do you feel compelled to write? Couldn't you write about something else? And I say, well, exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
It's like I write about what is close to me, what I know, and I don't want to be like, Proust, am I pronouncing that proud? Proust, the famous writer, one of the greatest gay writers of the 20th century. He wrote about Albertine, did you know that story? But hell, yes, you're a smart person. Albertine was the chauffeur in the story, right? Chauffeur, no, I'm lost. No, I know it is. Albertine was a girl, but it was really based on his chauffeur, right?
Yes,
Who was a
I think
man.
that's right.
Yeah, thank you. I was worried I get it wrong. But yes, so it's like...
Who would care if we get it wrong?
Exactly. I don't know, some scholar who's listening. But I just think that it's interesting that he did that because it's 19, whatever, I can't remember. He wrote 1900, long times ago, that he wrote this stuff. And he had to do that, he did that. But we don't have to do that. And I do think it makes a difference. I mean, in terms of our creativity, in terms of just for some reason for us, it makes a difference not to put a wig on someone or make it into another gender, but to say I want to write about the man.
Yes, and that's what I wanted to write about. And that is
Do you think it's affected you in terms of your career? Like what I'm asking you, because you're a very talented man, as you people could see, could you be more famous if you were not David Ramsden, who says I sing about the men's?
I could be, but I think that would be up to me. I don't have a lot of ambition.
Right, okay.
And I do take things when I want to take them because they interest me. So I'm not really thinking of a career path forward.
Well, that's something I really admire about you too, because you do it because you love it, and you're an artist who loves what he does.
That's correct.
Absolutely, and that's why. Can't you see how centered David is? David is like he's a very centered person. Is what I.
That's the first I've heard of it.
I said you are very centered. You're centered. crazy, but you're censored. Now I don't know what that means to me. I've known him for a long time, so I can say that, but in the nicest way. But I think you are, for a crazy person, very centered. No, I do.
Thank you.
I do honestly
And
think
for a
you-
crazy person, I also was a mental health crisis worker for 29 years. As a
Talk about that.
crazy
Do you know
person.
what he did? Tell them where you worked, or you're going to tell the place. Well, what kind of a place you worked?
Well, I first worked at Street City, which was an artificial city in a warehouse where the distillery district is now. And that was wild. And then I moved to the Gerstein Center, which is run by the Ministry of Health. So I was a crisis worker there for the last 29 years. I left 2.5 years ago. I could stand no more.
Right, I know. Or the stories that he would tell me about these people who come in, and he always had a story, right? Someone coming in on
No names,
attack-
because that's confidential.
Absolutely, coming in on attacking him in the middle of the night and with a knife, like real. I don't surprise you alive even.
Crazy
still.
shit went on.
But interesting that you kept that job. Only not that they didn't fire you. I didn't mean that. But only that you stayed there. That you
I
something
did
about
stay
you
there.
wanted, and you're going to say, I mean, yes, you clapped, and it's absolutely right. Very wonderful thing. If we did not have someone doing this, I mean, I met someone the other day who volunteers to go. I still have mixed feelings about this person. Oh my God, he's going to hear it. I don't care. But he told me that he visits, you know what he does? He goes and visits some people in hospice. He visits dying people. This, by the way, speaking of love, this is what happens at the end of Love Labour's Lost. Is the woman Rosaline tells him that Baron can only be in love with her and marry her if he goes to the dying and entertains them. That's the end of Love Labour's Lost. But no, she says that I will marry you in a year if you spend the year going to the sick who are very, very sick, and you mustn't talk serious. You must somehow, with your wit, you must make them laugh. That is really anyway. So I'm gone a bit off topic here, but I do see this fact that that reminds this guy goes to hospice. I go, oh my God, how does someone have the generosity of heart? So how did you find it in yourself to do that and keep going back? There must have been times when I'm never going back there.
Yes. Well, I'll tell you, I did it as relief work at first. And when my parents got ill in 2001,
Yeah.
I took it full time. And I stopped performing because I knew that there was a long period coming where I was not going to be here. I was going to be going back and forth to from Toronto to Peterborough. And I did that for 14 years. So I really almost stopped performing until 2013.
So this is, but were you working at this place at that time, or were
Yes,
you with your parents? So you were with your
I
parents.
would
and working?
I would work 3 overnight shifts, 3 overnight 12-hour shifts. I would rent a car. I would drive up to my parents. I would spend 3 nights there. And at one point, I was admitting my mother to a psych hospital on and off for about 5 years in a row. So it was a weird because I was doing that to make money as well, and then I was also admitting my mother to a psych
Oh
hospital,
my God.
not for money.
This man is a saint, and he makes me
No,
feel my
I'm
life.
not a
you
saint.
make me feel that my life is very superficial. I never help anybody, and here you go. No, but here you go. I do. I believe in being kind to beggar woman, and I believe in that, and in being as gay as possible. That is a quote from
Well,
Noel.
you are as gay as possible.
Well, that is a quote from Noel Coward. Be kind to beggar woman and be as gay as possible.
Oh.
He actually said that before they had, but they knew what gay was even back
Yeah.
then. Anyway, so no, I'm amazed by all of that generosity. But I want to get back to this musician thing just a little bit, and I want to ask, what about Katie Lang? Like I see, like tomorrow night she's winning some award. You must have seen it. She's getting something like lifetime
haven't seen
achievement.
that.
Like you're almost dead. You know those lifetime achievement awards. Huh? We decided now that you're almost dead to give you an award. So she's getting that. But what happened to her? See, I think that she was the most talented, the most beautiful voice I have ever heard a woman next to. Like, of course, I'm gay, Judy Garland, but a beautiful, resonant voice with all sorts of phrasing and all this deep stuff going on. And then what happened? I know she doesn't like meat products, and I thought maybe because she doesn't like meat products, Alberta just canceled her.
She did actually face a big backlash. about that.
Yeah.
And then she faced a big anti-gay backlash. I don't know how long that lasted.
Yeah.
But that's not why I think.
No, okay.
Like
She doesn't want to? She doesn't
Well,
want to
she
be there?
announced her retirement in 2019, right?
Well, yeah.
But she still does a song every now and then with
Right.
somebody or like a guest thing. But sure, I think how could it not have affected her? It was all
That's
over
what
the
I
place.
think. Because I think it's a full-time job loving the women, and she loves the women's, and that's a full-time job, I can imagine. But on top of that, why? I just think she's very talented. When she should have been more of a popular star.
Did you know? So on Jane Siberry's album, When I Was a Boy, Katie Lang and I both sing on it.
Oh yeah.
And that's the only time I ever met her was with Jane during that album recording, but we're not on the same track. But that's the only time I ever met her.
And what was she like?
Well, all 5 minutes of her seemed great. We were in some cafe. I was leaving. They were coming in.
Yeah.
It was not. There was.
But
not,
I'm still-
it was not a big reaction.
The other thing I wanted to talk to you about was the fact that we're both so very, well, I'm very, very old. I don't know if you're quite as old as me, but I'm ancient.
Pretty close.
What's it like to being the old gay person? I mean, I talk about this a lot because I don't think anyone cares, and everybody thinks that old gay people should just go into a hole and die somewhere. So, like, what do you think it's like for you, being old gay person? Because I've heard by the grapevine, because I've talked to a friend of mine. I just didn't say I would talk about this, but you just stopped me. He doesn't care.
I don't care.
I heard that you still have a very active sex life. I just said that very deeply in my people. I dare. And maybe it's with the same, some of it's with the person you've been having active sex life with for a very long time.
Some of it is with that person. I've been on and off with one
Right.
person who's a bi guy and has 2 girlfriends, 23 years.
Are you talking into your microphone?
I believe. Oh, maybe
Just do a
I'm
little
not.
bit better. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, and then I go.
So because you said bi guy, and they want to hear that, because I think that's very interesting that there are these bi guys, and there are bi girls too.
He's
by the way.
genuinely bi, like he really is.
Oh,
And
I
somebody
know
asked-
genuine. I learned about that. They're genuinely bi. They're not gay today. Bi today, gay tomorrow.
Absolutely.
They're just bi.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mhm.
And then I park cruise a lot.
Right.
I love
You
park
just
cruising.
said that in front of an audience of, well, you're not normal people, I can see. You know what I mean, in front of semi-normal people. He just said that.
Okay, have you read? Okay, there's a book called
Yes.
Park Cruising.
Oh yeah.
What
Did you write
happened?
it?
I could have,
Couldn't
and I
resist.
wondered why was I not interviewed for that book. It's a Toronto author. Anyway, it's a really. His name is Marcus McCann, and he's a lawyer.
I know Marcus McCann. He's a
Oh yeah,
writer.
we talked about
We were
it.
talking about that. Anyway, go on. So what's
Oh,
the
yeah.
park book?
Well, that book is so interesting. That is worth reading, and like, cause he's a poet as well. And it
Yeah.
is about the Marie Curtis park busts that happened out in Mississauga.
Oh, yeah.
And that's a park I used to cruise.
Yeah.
It was very active, if you know what I mean.
They might not.
I
but
think
it means
you
a lot
do.
of the men were having the sexes. In the
Yes,
trees,
that's
beside the trees, under the trees, late at night, early
Yes.
evenings, right in the afternoon perhaps you go in the shadow. Go
So
ahead.
I still do that, but of course, as you get older, it is harder to cruise. Not because
It's harder to get down on your knees, let me tell you, but whatever.
But I've had both hips replaced. So
Yes,
it's
that's
not-
why I've had the hip and the knee, and that's why we do it. So we can do the kneeling. Go ahead. The kneeling's very important. Kneel and pray. I know, but you get
Yes, it
someone.
is harder to get up.
But
Who
then you
said
get
that?
someone to help you
Absolutely
get up.
true.
I get the boys are so nice. They really are. Sometimes they don't scorn you. They say, oh, I help you.
No, I've never
I help
been-
you get up. You gave me a good blowjob. I help you get up. Oh, it's very nice. It's very polite. And
It is.
Yeah, it's very
So I
nice.
still cruise, but I'll tell you what has happened to the High Park cruising. So I don't cruise at night. I used to, and I stopped because I really would like to see fully what I'm getting.
But you
I
made
don't
that
need
very
shadows.
clear. No
I
shadow.
don't need dark.
No.
And so where was I going with this? Oh, park cruising.
Yes.
So when I cruise now, the area at High Park is now 2/3 smaller than it used to be because they're off the beaten path. And it used to be this labyrinthine thing where you would find 20 places to have sex, multiple guys, but now all these trees have fallen across the paths and they've cut off all the places.
Very irritating.
It's so fucking irritating, and it hardly makes it worth it.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, as you get older, less and less people are interested in you, but I don't care.
I've noticed that. Oh yes, but we don't care. We just forge on, and it's much better than you think because there's the daddy complex. There's so many boys with the daddy complex, so many men with the daddy. So many old men with the daddy's complex. Daddy, daddy, daddy. And then there's a bear thing. We can always be bears or daddies. I'm not Harry.
A deal breaker for me, though, is when somebody says daddy to me.
Oh, you find that hard?
Stop.
Yeah, it was hard for me at first, but now I just sort of go right ahead. If that turns you on, you're going there. You know what I mean? But no, it's very traumatizing the first time somebody calls you daddy. You know what I mean? Because you just go, oh,
And then somebody called me Poppy once, too.
Pappy. Oh no, the Pappy, that's a Hispanic. That's very Hispanic. That means they
Still.
think you're very hot. Because that's what they call their daddies when their daddies are fucking them. Sorry, I didn't mean to say that. But it's definitely, Pappy is a very strange, it's Hispanic. I don't understand it because I'm not Hispanic, but that's what they call it.
Oh, so it's a good thing.
In the height of orgasm. Oh yes, Pappy, Pappy. Oh yes, very, very, very big signal. So I don't know, I shouldn't reveal that I know that, but I do. I think that was really all I was going to ask you, and because you seem to be adjusting to all of that stuff called the aging very well. Listen, I want to thank you very much for coming here, and that was a really fun discussion. I hope that people actually heard it, because even though you weren't on the mic, but you did get on it eventually.
Oh, really?
But, no, I think they heard it, right, David? Okay. Yay. And you guys are the ones that matter, even though you're not quite normal. Thank you very much. Thank you, David. We're going to take a little break, and we'll be back with Thérèse Bernier in no time at all.